state regime media known as Fox was having a full meltdown yesterday as Donald Trump was panic posting, attacking the European Union with threats of more tariffs. Donald Trump threatened to tariff an individual American company, Apple. So what did state regime media known as Fox do? They started attacking former President Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama, saying that their behavior was very unbecoming for people who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Here, play this clip.
This is a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's arguing with his wife about the temperature because he needs his blankie. He needs an.
Stars are just
I know
like
that's. I don't want to get too much into their bedroom, but the point is, I don't see Mother Teresa being worried about the temperature or Albert Schweitzer, needing an extra blanket. I mean, it doesn't fit the idea of my old idea of what a Nobel Peace Prize winner would be willing to do. I don't know.
Are you saying it's not noble?
Yeah.
Really?
Seriously, that's what state regime media was talking about yesterday. Then they brought on Tulsi Gabbard in the ultimate moment of projection, saying, don't be surprised when the bad actors accuse us of the very things that they are guilty of. These MAGAs are the most sinister, sick people imaginable. Watch this. Play this clip.
I mean, yes, we talked about activist judges. She is clearly doing something to help someone who has already broken the law by entering our country illegally evade law enforcement who had him in their custody. And they've been able to get away with this for two reasons. Number one, there has been no transparency. And because there's been no transparency, there has been no accountability. And this is what we are seeking to bring about. This is what the responsibility and mission that I take very seriously is to shine a light, as has been done in this video, as has been done in the documents that we are declassifying, shine a light on areas and places that have not seen the light of day for a very long time and have allowed many bad actors within our own government to get away with either crimes or unconstitutional acts and undermining our God-given rights and freedoms that exist within the Constitution and that serve as the foundation of our republic. And the last thing I'll say on this, Will, is as we continue down this process, don't be surprised that we will see the very same playbook that has been used for a very long time in this country, where those very bad actors and their friends in the legacy and mainstream propaganda media will accuse us of the very things that they are guilty of in order to try to deflect away from how they and their actions are undermining the Constitution, the rights and freedoms and civil liberties of the American people.
Yeah, that was Director of National Intelligence, and it pains me to even say that Tulsi Gabbard, who literally ordered her own intelligence team to destroy their own intelligence reports that were accurate, that undercut Donald Trump, and to fabricate fake intelligence reports to support the regime. She is a vile and despicable human being. Speaking of vile and despicable human beings, then they have Dr. Oz on Fox, and Dr. Oz talks about why he believes it's the right decision that the Trump regime has now banned people under the age of 65 from getting COVID boosters and COVID shots unless you can prove to the regime that you are not healthy and that you desperately need it. If the regime doesn't approve it, though, their plan is you don't get the COVID shot anymore. What despicable, vile people, withholding a vaccine from Americans while you spread disinformation about the vaccines for COVID and measles. These are vile, trash human beings. Play this clip.
Real quickly, you guys are putting a stop to the boosters for everyone. Why is that?
Well, we're asking, again, that folks go back and kick the tires on what's really in their best interest. So the FDA lead, Marty Makary, has said in a beautiful article this week in the New England Journal that you need to give boosters if you want to seniors, but you can't force them on young people because we don't have enough evidence that it makes sense for them. So we're still going to pay for it. CMS will pay for these booster shots for COVID, but it doesn't make sense for us to demand, insist, or mandate that.
It's not necessary for everyone. All right, Doc, I think you guys are following the science on this. I'm glad we got new folks in that are looking at the actual numbers now.
Then they started going on this rant about, I kid you not, Kermit the Frog. And they were upset at Kermit, and they did all of these. I'm only going to show you a small segment, but they said Kermit's really bad, a bad frog. Here, play this clip.
Not bad, Riley. What do you think?
Imagine being a 22-year-old student who is graduating with your degree in aerospace engineering, and a frog from the Muppets is on stage telling you to stay connected with your people. I mean, you can't even make this up. Instead of honoring entrepreneurs or veterans or innovators, they picked Kermit the Frog. We have students who are drowning in debt, who are struggling to find jobs, and universities are handing the mic to puppets. Not puppets like many Democratic elected leaders, like a real puppet. It's all theater, literally. So I see this as the same institutions who have been pushing political agendas and cancel culture now want to use a puppet to inspire students. It's unserious, it's out of touch, and frankly, it's insulting.
Mind you, the reason they are doing this is because Trump was once again tanking the economy. Trump held his grifter, bribing, meme coin event on Thursday in Virginia. The next morning on Friday, it was market manipulation time. Donald Trump attacked Apple, caused $80 billion in market value of Apple to tank as a result of saying he was going after Apple. And then he attacked the European Union. Horrible stuff. That's why they're doing this. Then they bring on this guy, MAGA Republican Congress member Randy Fine. And he says, this is his exact sentence: the entire Palestinian cause is evil. Do you hear that, Palestinians for Trump? This is what these people think, that the entire Palestinian existence is evil. That's what they're saying right now. Play this clip.
The fact of the matter is the Palestinian cause is evil. And you see it in how they behave here. It is predicated on lies, mistruths.
Seriously? Then they have Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent on. And Scott Bessent is asked, because now they have to have Treasury Secretary propaganda. And this guy, Scott Bessent's the worst. He's the most arrogant dude imaginable. He kind of just sits there and, well, I think that this, and I think that. This guy's worth almost $1 billion. He literally lived in a pink $22 million mansion that was modeled after Barbie's Malibu beach house mansion, or whatever the heck it's called. So here he's asked, what are you going to do with this budget bill that passed in the House that's going to add trillions to the deficit? He goes, well, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, that's DC style. That's just DC style scoring. Play this clip.
You mentioned economic growth in your comment there. This bill adds trillions to our debt. How is that acceptable to this administration?
Well, again, you're referring to the CBO scoring, I believe, which is tenure scoring, and it's DC style scoring. So we think that we can both grow the economy and control the debt. And what's important, Bill, is that the economy grows faster than the debt. So what I would tell your viewers to focus on is what I'm focused on, is what Secretary Yellen was focused on, is what is the total debt to GDP? Because we can grow our way out of this. That if we change the growth trajectory of the country, of the economy, then we will stabilize our finances and grow our way out of this.
DC style scoring. The big problem with someone like Scott Bessent is he was supposed to be the adult in the room. He was the person that Wall Street counted on to say to Donald Trump, enough. But no, he's the guy going, it's CBO, I'll stop doing the impression because it hurts me to do it. But the Congressional Budget Office, a nonpartisan group within the congressional office that says that the deficit's going to increase by trillions. It's not DC talking points. Horrific. So then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is asked this question. So who are you going to do deals with? You promised us 90 deals in 90 days. You've done no deals so far. And he does this line. He goes, we're far along with India. No, you're not. We've provided our audience with what the India foreign minister says. He says you're not close to a deal. Play this clip.
On the tariffs that you mentioned, you had a lot of discussions in Canada. Japan was a part of that. You've talked about Japan a lot. If the Japanese is not the next country to do a deal, who is?
As I've mentioned before, far along with India, and they got in early on. Many of the Asian countries have come with very good deals. So there are 18 important trading partners, and I would say, with the exception of the EU, most are negotiating in very good faith.
Who do you think goes first?
Bill, we're going to have to see.
Is it a summer battle? Do we take this into the fall? And if we take it into the fall, are we talking about 2026? To do a deal that you can announce publicly?
With the EU?
With the EU, which you have with anybody. You pick it.
No, look, these deals are moving quickly. And I think as we approach the end of the 90-day period, we're going to see more and more of them announced.
Okay. Is that July then?
I think that's the 90 days.
Okay. So we will look for that then.
Did you know that the liver month subscription?
And then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent is asked about Trump's attacks on Apple. Here, play this clip.
On Apple, there is more news too on that. Okay, here we go. On True Social an hour ago, I've long informed Tim Cook of Apple that I expect their iPhones will be sold in the United States of America, will be manufactured and built in the U.S., not India or any place else. If that's not the case, a tariff of at least 25% must be paid by Apple to the United States. So we've got 2 tariff threats in about 10 minutes time. I understand that Tim Cook was at the White House this week. Did that conversation not go well?
Again, I wasn't in on that conversation. I also saw Tim this week. So, again, the president is trying to bring back precision manufacturing to the U.S. And, I think that one of our greatest vulnerabilities, are this external production, especially in semiconductors, and a large part of Apple's components are in semiconductors. So we would like to have Apple help us make the semiconductor supply chain more secure.
What I found interesting in Saudi Arabia last week was that the president called out Tim Cook for not being there. Now, you know that high technology companies, it takes time to move those production facilities. What's realistic for Apple?
Again, I don't know from company to company, so we'll have to see. I do think that Apple started moving a big portion of their supply chain out of China during COVID, when China proved to be an unreliable partner.
Okay, so we'll see where that goes, and waiting a reply perhaps from Tim Cook, and maybe that comes today.
And they bring back on Tulsi Gabbard. And here again, the ultimate projection and confession from Gabbard. Here she goes, you have people in positions of authorities and power who in their arrogance really believe they can break the law, that they can undermine the rule of law. Talk about having zero self-awareness with this Trump criminal cartel. But here, play this clip.
Yeah, Will, it demonstrates something that we know already has been a common theme, especially under the previous administration, is that you have people in positions of authority and power who in their arrogance really believe that they can break the law, they can undermine the rule of law, and essentially in this case, yes, we talked about activist judges. She is clearly doing something to help someone who has already broken the law by entering our country illegally evade law enforcement who had him in their custody. And they've been able to get away with this for 2 reasons. Number one, there has been no transparency. And because there's been no transparency, there has been no accountability. And this is what we are seeking to bring about. This is what the responsibility and mission that I take very seriously.
Then they bring on MAGA Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn. And Marsha Blackburn says, the reason that Donald Trump is doing all of this is he's making things more affordable right now. Haven't we solved all the problems? Aren't things so cheap right now? We've done it. We need to basically bring those factories in China that build those iPhones right back to the United States. Do you realize that China would actually love that? China's trying to get the jobs that exist in America. Why would America try to fight for low-paying jobs that are in China? Apple is one of the most profitable companies in America. Why are you attacking the company that's doing pretty well? Because these MAGAs are losers. Play this clip.
Let's go to Apple here. I have an iPhone.
Sure.
My guess is you might have an iPhone. I love the product. I'm a fan of Tim Cook's. But boy, Donald Trump, I think, is sending a really strong signal that he wants to see that manufacturing here in the United States.
Yes, and this is all part of making certain that we're prosperous and that the country is affordable. Right now, Jason, 80% of all the iPhones are made in China. And as we all know, when you are doing business in China, China and the CCP are in your business. We also have seen Apple push forward with censoring some apps. We know that the CCP gets involved in some of these decisions. This manufacturing needs to come back to the U.S. It is jobs, it is wages. And one of the good things is this. In President Trump's push to get inflation down and make America affordable for working families, what he is doing is using tariffs and trade negotiations. He is pushing to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. to make certain that we strengthen our supply lines so that this manufacturing can take place, and to do one-stop permitting on regulations so that we speed up the process to build and to manufacture and to create these good long-term jobs.
Yeah, a lot of people get exacerbated by this, but you know what? Donald Trump's going to make America stronger again. And by the time we turn the corner next year, people will understand that that's part of the America First agenda. So just eat it.
And speaking about MAGAs being losers, Trump's former press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany's now a host on Fox. So what does she spend her time doing? And I'm not going to show many clips of this because it's just ridiculous. But she's like, we need a special counsel to investigate Biden. We need a special counsel to investigate Biden. Here, play this clip.
Tick-tock, the clock is ticking, but will subpoenas be enough? Maybe it's time for a special counsel to take the lead. Federal regulations call for a special counsel if, one, there are extraordinary circumstances, and two, when it's in the public interest.
Now, Kayleigh McEnany, wasn't it you and Donald Trump who were saying that special counsels are unlawful? Wasn't it Judge Eileen Cannon, the Trump-appointed terrible judge, who made the ruling and said that special counsels aren't allowed to exist at all? Wasn't that what the ruling was? So now you're going against what the judge that you loved ruled against? And a special counsel for what? Your auto pen conspiracy? Under former President Biden, we had a stable government. Okay? It was predictable. It was rooted in a predictable set of values and principles. The markets were up 40 to 60%. We had record job growth. 16.2 million jobs were created. Record low unemployment. 40,000 infrastructure projects. We were energy independent. We were the most dominant producer of oil and energy across the world. We led in every single category. We were the envy of the world. The Wall Street Journal's headline, United States economy, the envy of the world. Other headlines from financial magazines and financial papers. Biden hands Donald Trump a Goldilocks economy, just right. Inflation was heading right down to 2%. The Fed was making cuts to interest rates. Things were all headed in the right direction, and Donald Trump blew it up. And now they all want to go back and attack former President Biden because you have a pathetic, weak, vile individual who calls himself a man, but he's just a pathetic, weak clown, zero character loser in there. And so now you got to attack Biden again because that's all you know how to do because you're a bunch of idiots who don't know how to build things. Take it away, Jessica Tarlow. Take it away.
What 2028 is going to be about is what happens over the course of the next 4 years. That's what happens. It's going to be a referendum on the Trump 2.0. If J.D. Vance is top of the ticket, it'll be easier to tie it directly to him. And right at this particular moment, Democrats aren't all that unhappy with what they're seeing. You know, Trump announcing a tariff war a day, for instance. This reconciliation bill, if it goes through and cuts hundreds of billions of dollars from Medicaid and Medicare to give tax breaks to the wealthy.
Not true, but okay.
It is 100%
You are
true.
spinning.
I'm not.
You
I
are
am
spinning so fast. I'm getting under my
I am
eyes.
looking straight ahead.
They're not.
Ask Josh Hawley. And
Okay,
I would say,
hold on. Let
and
me
you
get him on the phone.
said,
Josh?
tell him I loved his op-ed.
You know what? Take it away one more time, Jessica Tarlov. Take it away. One more clip of Tarlov.
And Greg mentioned a staggering level of corruption. And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the meme coin.
No, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
you're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, but meme coin, meme coin.
I'm saying billions.
All right, let's
of
give Paul a
dollars.
chance to clean it up real quick. Paul, final
It is
thoughts.
clean on my side of the street.
It's the only pro-democracy voice on Fox right there. Isn't she incredible? Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Midas? Check
Double takedown. First doom.
Help me!
Triple takedown.
Help me!
First doom.
I need glue wall. Help me!
Double takedown. Double takedown.